All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1, Episode 14.
Oh, that's...
Well, that whole arc, the story is over and done.
Okay.
And tournament arc, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe?
I mean, that does seem to be the thing that is next
be.
on the agenda.
Yeah, we'll probably meet more specifically, students and stuff from the Kyoto branch and stuff.
The tournament might not start this episode, but a lot of things are probably going to be different, because we're out of immediate danger as far as we can tell.
Yuji is probably going to be, well, if he's involved in the tournament at all, revealed that he was actually alive all this time. Now, that might be counterintuitive because, all the higher-ups would have their eyes on this tournament. So I'm curious to see if it's just that, well, now we might have a good timing for that because he's gotten a lot stronger.
Sure.
And he has a little bit more of a handle on what he can do with his abilities. And then, of course, Sukuna as well.
And maybe if the tournament is really close and he's going to be in the tournament and then they can't, come up with an excuse to send him on a dangerous mission or something.
Yeah, possibly. But I would just love to see Nobara and Fushiguro have their moment of just like... I feel like in the best possible way, while this arc that we went through was just amazing in so many different ways, I really missed the banter of this trio, and I want them to be a trio again.
Right.
And can we have that?
And it did a really good job of, by, minimizing things down to a couple characters, we were able to get introduced to a lot of the world building elements for the story and, antagonists and things like that.
Too.
Yeah, go through it rather quickly and keep that
and
that
get the best
pace.
Character in this show, Nanami.
Exactly. But now back to the sort of regular dynamic.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But all that, yes.
Well, new OP or ED?
Yes, I also want to see if this is the show that gives us a new OP because the last one
kind of doesn't fit
was
anymore.
A lie.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't lie to us again. But now I'm just going to have trust issues when I watch it.
But the sad thing, though, is that if we get a new ED, then I'm going to cry because then it's like,
new OP, same ED.
yeah, exactly. Wouldn't that be funny if, in the middle of something like that, they basically, acknowledge,
this ED is
ED
too
is
good.
so good that we'll give you the second ED in the Blu-ray or something. If you want to see what it would have been because we hired still people for it and everything. Here it is in the Blu-ray. I think that'll probably be a breach of contract for whoever did the ED.
Who knows?
But yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
Surprise Hot Springs episode.
Whoa, water!
That looks really good.
Oh, Jogo.
Wait, he has a...
That's so dark! Pipe. It's a brain.
Well, right. That too.
Yeah. But then you were a bit too hands-on with that. Yeah.
That's to truly be desired. You were scared shitless and think. That's actually kind of freaky, the fact that the bad guys and the good guys have the same goal, yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This track.
Right, they're not going to give him all of them.
Okay. Alright, cool. A reason for the bad guys to keep the protagonist alive. Oh shit.
Gotcha.
OP. Oh! Panda!
What?
Going on King Kong! What?
But I get feeling just like the first OP. The second OP, best part about it is Panda.
I mean, not me.
Oh my god.
Yes.
If they ever play baseball in this show, I will absolutely die.
Oh my god. Oh. All right. I see Jujutsu Kaisen. Yes.
Who's playing it though?
Oh my god. Whoa. That rewinds? Whoa.
じゃあ廃棄のおにぎりでキャッチボールしながら政教分離について語ろうぜ。上げて炎上しようぜ。
What?
お一人でどうぞ。
ななみ、吉野ってこの家にあった指についてユージに
言ってません。
Oh.
彼の場合、不要な責任を感じるでしょう。
お前に任せてよかった。
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad I left you like yeah.
ちゃんと上に提出しましたよ。
Yeah, Nanami's a
あ
rule
なたに
follower
渡
here.
すと、ビタドリ君に食べさせるでしょう。
先生！お、ななみもいる。なあなあ。
So respectful. Wow.
Nanamine.
Yeah, Nanami. Yeah.
ワクワク。ワク。ユージ、もしかしてここまで引っ張って普通に登場するつもり？
It's a good question.
違うの？やるでしょサプライズ。
Oh my god.
yes.
Yes.
1年は嬉しさと驚きで泣き笑い。
Oh no.
2年も京都ももらい泣き。おえつのあまりゲロを吐く者も現れ。最終的に地球温暖化も解決する。いいね。先生、俺何したらいい？何もしなくていい。僕の言う通りにしよう。
Oh my
No.
god.
Oh, yes!
Are you gonna let this
Hokkaido!
happen?
Let's go with the flow!
お前こそなんだその荷物は。
何ってこれから京都でしょ。京都って姉妹校交流会。
No, they're coming here.
姉妹校と交
Yeah.
流会だ。東京で去年勝った方の学校でやんだよ。
Ah.
Sorry, I'm
Grabbing his fur.
Oh, they weren't even in it.
Oh.
ユウタが参加したんだ。
来たぜ。
Yeah.
あら、東京
Ara. Ah,
Alright.
yes.
怖。
Momo, okay.
骨がいないのはいいとして1年2人はハンデが過ぎないか。
ロボがいる。
Mekamaru.
年は関係ないよ。
Noritoshi.
特に伏黒君。
Oh.
彼は全員家の血筋だが、宗家よりよほど出来が良い。
Damn.
Okay.
Get
別
wrecked.
に。まあ、二人とも落ち着いてください。
Wait.
Iwa Kasumi, okay. Wasn't she the secretary? Like,
Yeah,
up with,
I think so.
The other guy? Okay. Oh, school leader.
で、
Iori.
あのバカは
Or Uta.
サトルは遅刻だ。
There's a lot of
時
names
間
you're
通り
gonna
に
get.
来るわけねえだろ。
Oh my god! Oh my god!
おんまた
Okay.
五条悟。
Two
Yeah,
responses.
いや皆さんお揃いで。
He's in the box.
出張で海外に行ってましたね。これからお土産を
God.
配りたいと思います。京都のみんなにはとある部族のお守りを。歌姫のはないよ。
いらね
Ah!
そして東京のみんなにはこちら。はい。おっぱっぺー。ユージくんです。全然嬉しそうじゃない。はい、京都の皆さん、これが少なの器、いただき京都の人らはお土産に夢中。
Yeah, they didn't even notice.
Nobody
who cares.
cares.
Yeah. And the headmasters.
The old fart's just like.
Yoshinobu Gakuganji, yes.
いやー、よかったよかった。びっくりして死んじゃったらどうしよう。
Too bad, right?
Yeah.
おい、
Oh, yeah, yeah.
なんか言うことあんだろ。
Yeah. You made them think you were dead for 2 months.
生きてること黙っててすいませんでした。
Fireworks! Fun times! Only 2 days?
Oh, okay. I guess
Oh.
it's just the 2 schools and there aren't many students, so tournament wouldn't take too long.
Sure. A race!
All right.
Wacky as well.
Indeed.
相手を殺したり、再起不能の怪我を負わせることのないように。
Oh.
以
All right.
Nice. Okay. There could be all kinds of fights and chaos and stuff, but yeah. Gojo!
事情は説明されたろ。
No.
許してやれって。
パンダが喋った
鮭
なんて
犬巻先輩は15
Yeah.
した
He has no context for them.
強制の術式だからな安全を考慮して語彙絞ってんだよ
死ねっつったら相手死ぬってこと？最強じゃん。
そんな便利なもの
He's
じゃ
like,
ないさ
oh.
実力差でケースバイケースだけどな。強い言葉を使えばでかい反動が来るし。
Yeah, it's like hockey.
最悪自分に返ってくる。語彙絞るのはトゲ自身を守るためでもあんのさ。
Cool.
で
Very cool.
先輩はなんで喋れんの？新種のパンダとか？
人の術式をペラペラとんなことよりユージ
Not answering the question about
小沢
Panda.
返せよ
Oh! Oh, where'd that go?
壊した。
帰ってこね
校長先生が。
Nice.
Passing the buck.
あのバカめくし
Yuji, well played.
Totally believes it.
Yeah.
だな
Favorite gimmick in like
Mhm.
anime comedy.
何ができるんだ。
殴る蹴る。
そういうのマニア
We
ッ
have
クだ
enough
な
of that.
東京校京都校全員呪力なしで戦い合ったら虎杖が勝ちます
Ooh.
東堂
They're like, oh, okay,
めぐみが言うんだ信憑性はある
Mm.
面白い
All right. Nice, nice. Way to go, Fushiguro, giving them like good trust in him.
虎杖裕二は殺せ。あれは人ではない。
Shit.
に全て不問。
殺すも何も彼死なないからここにいるんですよね
さっきの虎杖の死は自死だと聞いておる。敵対術師にとどめを刺すとき気をつけねばならんことは
Oh.
死後呪いに転ずることを防ぐために呪力で殺します。
そう
Gotcha.
Freaking knew it.
Okay.
Freaking knew it.
くびるのはくだらん。勝手にやってろ。
Oh.
11時から散歩番組に高田ちゃんがゲスト出演する。
I love it.
Get bent, yeah.
Do it.
I love
It's late
Toto so
anymore.
much.
リアタイと録画両方見んだよ。なめてんのか。
Oh, I love it.
そこかよ
いいかお前ら。じいさんもよく聞け。
Oh.
女の趣味の悪いお前らには当の昔に失望してる。
You tell him.
手にやれ。ただし次俺に指図してみろ。殺すぞ。
Oh, the ordering is the thing
Yeah.
that you have an issue with.
Exactly, right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh.
それで話って
なんで切れてんの？
別
I'm
に
around
切れ
you.
てないけど
だよね。僕何もしてないし。高専に
Someone
術
has
師
bad memory,
ある
apparently.
いは呪霊と通じているやつ。
ありえない
Oh.
自殺ならまだしも呪霊と
京都側の調査を歌姫に頼みたい。
私が内通者だったらどうすんの
ないない。歌姫弱いし。そんなどっち
Wow. And the infinity.
Wow.
怖っ
That.
キスはモテないよ。
私
I
Wow.
love it.
Show me respect.
Yeah.
何かあったろ
Yeah.
はなんもねえよ。
Bruh. Bruh. He's trying to be your friend.
Yeah.
むしろそのおかげで誰にも負けたくねえんだわ。
It'll come out later. It'll come out later.
コテンパンにしてやんなよ
Alright.
マキさんのためには
Yes.
やめろ。明太子。
Never heard Polak row before. That's a new one.
そんじゃまあ。勝った。
Okay.
Got her pose.
何仕切ってんだよ
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What do you think you are, the main character or something?
Ooh.
Oh. Oh, wait. This is very different style.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's gonna be.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Yep.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know, man. Yep. Yep. I mean, the other one was a bop, but this one. We're going to look back at these times with
I
fondness and like, look, everyone gets to hang out together and draw mustaches and put
Play with
headphones
Panda.
on Panda.
That random animation of Nobara like backstepping on the beach was
That was really good.
really fluid.
Yeah.
This CD is super pretty, but like I just
Oh, you know what I just realized too?
Mhm.
One of the funny things about, Panda potentially might be when he's, oh, so Yuji's the one recording it all.
Oh my god.
大将はもう握られて何年ぐらい
20歳の時からだから
となると300
Oh my god.
酔ってんの
えいおじ赤子
Wow.
Dang. Oh,
He's just watching it like, yes, this is wonderful.
this is the
さすが高田ちゃんだ
Okay, this was a funny episode.
This was, yeah,
Quite a funny episode.
just a bit goofy.
We get all the Kyoto High students introduced here, or at least a good chunk of them. I'm
Yep.
guessing there could be more, but they're probably all here because, this is a special event.
Right.
So they're probably all asked to be here. And there was only one person notably not here, and that was someone from Tokyo High.
Right.
Which was
The infamous Okotsu.
Okotsu Yuta, yes.
Yeah.
Who we've now had multiple ways that he's been built up as this just powerhouse.
Yep.
So Tokyo High is got the odds stacked against them. It's a very classic way to set up the fact that, well, Kyoto High has it where it counts in terms of the power department. But that all being said, as one of the guys, I believe that was Kamo Noritoshi brought up, age has really nothing to do with the strength of Jujutsu sorcerers, because it comes down to whether or not you have those techniques or not.
Yeah.
And that's a really good point to bring up, in that he was saying that, hey, Fushiguro is actually one of the strongest in that clan, or specifically
He's stronger than
the
clan.
head of that clan,
Right.
which is rare. So that's that's a pretty big deal, and that's kind of a cool follow up on the fact that Sukuna kind of built up a little bit the idea that Fushiguro has high ceiling potential. He might not be there yet, but that's kind of
there
cool.
was that whole technique thing that he was about to bust out that apparently would have been really nasty.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's something where I actually think that Kyoto might. I think it might be the other way. I think that Kyoto might be outclassed if Okotsu shows up, because the fact that they said
no,
that
I don't think he's going to show up.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the point, is that he's just not going to be here.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. That would make a lot more sense, and that's a
if
way that
he was there, then they would outclass them. I think that's the simple variable they're trying to bring in here, and that Yuji is the unknown, so he could be the Okotsu replacement in terms of we don't know what he's really capable of.
Yep. But okay, kill Yuji.
Yes, that's the overarching problem conflict that we've got to look forward to.
And I gotta say, I like that was said by the principal guy, because
Ganji,
because it's a way to basically add additional stakes into this tournament arc, right? And given the fact that it doesn't seem like it's necessarily going to be a bunch of one-on-ones, that makes me even more excited.
It will probably end up getting divvied out into a bunch of one-on-ones really rapidly.
Sure.
But because this is a fast-paced show, they're probably going to do multiple fights all in the one episode, basically.
Yep.
And then it's just a question of, do those fights resolve, in the same episode? Or will they then carry over into multiple episodes? I could see them having a couple fights that would go longer than one episode. But I could also see them having things where it's not just the one fight, it's the one-on-one fight. Oh, other people come in, shake up the fight, they split up, and then it becomes a new fight, and then a bunch of people split up, and then regroup, and then all this stuff. And that just means we're going to have a lot of people running around with a lot of powers going crazy. And yet there's probably going to be the other people that are just going to be like, why is all that chaos going on? We're just having fun doing the game. And then we exercise the second grade curse.
Okay, it's over.
Yeah.
Right, and this is just one part of the tournament, probably, and then it might be like a 2 out of
2 days.
Right.
And the first day involves this contest.
Right, so maybe it's like there's a sort of 2 out of 3 situation where it's like, okay, this is one of the competitions, right?
Sure.
And then to figure out what school wins and all that.
Yeah,
but
makes sense.
And I like that we have differing responses to the order to kill Yuji from Kyoto High.
And it makes sense to have it for the first one to respond differently be from Toto, because he's the one that we've been the most dramatically introduced to before this episode.
Right, he's other than maybe Miwa, but true. Toto's like, that's not cool, right? But of course, it's not I'm not going to kill someone in a friendly tournament because you said so. It's Oh, no, I don't like taking orders.
I don't like taking orders from all of you with your shit taste in women.
Exactly.
That is hilarious, for one, but I also love the idea that because he's particularly, like, a straight guy, basically.
Right.
He only cares about people's tastes in women.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care about people's sexual tastes, like, specifically. He's just like, no, women. Like, we're only here to talk about women. Like, that's...
Women.
Yeah, women. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh my god, this guy's a meme, and yet I can just tell he's the good boy, like, bruiser brawler that's gonna be like, oh, yes, manliness. You
Jennifer
know?
Lawrence, I agree.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Yep.
I can absolutely see.
It has been foreshadowed since the beginning of the show.
Since the beginning of the show. You thought the Jennifer Lawrence line was a throwaway, but actually it was set up for the Toto Yuji friendship.
Exactly.
You didn't know you wanted.
Yep. But one of the things that I also liked is that the way the principal brought it up was a lot more interesting than, like, what I would expect the classic, like, Karate Kid kind of a thing to be, of like, take him out, you know, right? Just because we're the mean bad side, we have to win, you know. It's the no. He is actually a super dangerous thing.
And
Like,
you guys will have a real chance to do this.
yeah, like,
And it's something that you guys will be easily able to excuse as an accident.
right. And while it is still something where it's that, wait, but what about the person? It's the
That's not a person.
He does house the most powerful curse, you know, like, out there. So,
and we get the most important world-building mechanic introduced thus far, in my opinion.
that Panda can transform.
Exactly. But in addition to that, that the reason why we used cursed energy when we fight other sorcerers, which is a thing, specifically is because if we don't, then there's a likelihood, or like extreme likelihood, that they will come back as a curse.
Yep. Which makes sense. They're using cursed energy and all that stuff, and if the death of a person can create a curse, then yeah, death of a sorcerer would create a super curse.
But you know what? The reason for that is in tying in with the other world-building elements is the fact that the reason why cursed energy is used at all is because we're not fighting physical bodies on physical bodies. We're fighting soul energy versus soul energy.
Okay.
Cursed energy is the metabolized, you know, like, version of the soul, basically, and stuff. So then when the souls come into contact, it's, you know, who has the stronger energy wins, blah, blah, blah. But the reason why then someone could become a curse is because they have a soul. But the reason why they're probably the most worried about it with Jujutsu sorcerers is because they have stronger souls.
Right.
Which means the stronger the Jujutsu sorcerer,
the stronger the curse if they were to die, not from cursed energy. Yeah.
Which gives us potentially, like, literally Sukuna's backstory if we wanted to.
Yes.
It's the groundwork being written in.
He was some Gojo, basically, and then of his time, and then, you know, whatever.
Which you keep going on this extrapolation, what would happen if somehow they found a way to kill sorcerers without using cursed energy?
Or another way to look at it, if a sorcerer wanted to transcend the mortal plane and they figured out how to make it so that when they turned into a curse, they retained their own individuality
and memories.
Because the thing is that killing a powerful Jujutsu sorcerer without cursed energy is
probably impossible.
Good luck, you know, right?
But trickery and sneakery and fuckery are all on the table.
Sure, and if you first, like, immobilize,
poison them.
Well, sure.
Assassination in general just seems like a
or just, like, beat them and then executed them with a knife, you know, just slit their throat or something, right? You know, like,
wait till
things. There are ways to make it happen. But one of the other things that was interesting, one of the other interesting things, though, that was brought up in this episode is that the bad guys are trying to get Yuji to eat, like, all the fingers, and they're planning on getting the 6 fingers that Jujutsu sorcerers, or, you know, the Jujutsu Sorcerer Society organization has, and get Yuji to eat all of them. Gojo is a greedy baka, but I feel like he would balk if suddenly he found 6 fingers, you know, in a bag somewhere.
He would still do one at a time.
Right, he'd still do one at a time, probably. So it's like, what's their game here? Because it feels like they're getting closer to their objective of, like, or not their objective, but of, like, taking some other serious action, right?
Right. I think
And
it's
yet-
making contact specifically with Sukuna.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sukuna doesn't know who these guys are.
Right.
And Sukuna is someone that they
In a lot of ways,
all...
probably doesn't care.
Right, of course. But Sukuna is someone that's so legendary that everyone knows who he is.
Right.
It's like everyone knows who Voldemort is. You know,
Yep,
you don't need
exactly.
some like grand history lesson. They're like, oh no, that's him. Yeah, we all know about him. Yeah, he
Right.
was awful. But they need to essentially find some way to break through the Yuji dumb shonen protagonist energy and be like, hey, can you move aside here for a second? We want to talk to your hollow.
What
Like,
is the limit for this kid? How many fingers do we have to feed him before he loses control? You
Right.
know?
And
Yeah.
then once that happens, he'll be a wrecking ball within their thing.
Yep.
But then we can, partner up with him,
Right.
use him.
Or even if we can't, even if he completely destroys us, it'd still be worth it.
Yeah.
Like that's some fun end motivation for the group of baddies currently, because it's showing basically that they're dedicated to their cause and that it goes beyond them. They're after more of an ideal than like a specific objective.
They might want both though.
Oh,
because,
sure, yeah.
Because
they'll always take extra victory.
Yeah, they want to go back to like the age of curses, and stuff like that. And that makes sense because we now know that curses are not a status effect; they are actual beings, which means
Oh yeah.
like.
Didn't we know that already?
No, I know.
Okay.
I'm saying that the show has made it very clear to us that curses are very similar to Jujutsu sorcerers. In fact,
We
it's
know how
very
one
hard,
could become the other. Yeah.
right, and it's very hard to tell the difference
When they're taking human form and speaking and all of that stuff. Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
So
Yep.
so yeah,
And they believe in Sukuna enough that they think even if he has different views on things than us and whatnot, if we get him powerful enough that he can come back into power, our job is done.
right.
And that makes me very interested to see how things go, because Jogo, I love you. It was great seeing you in the ridiculously well animated hot spring, but I also
He's a
don't
means
care
to
about
an
you in
end.
the long term.
Yeah, he's a means to an end. Just like the other guy who talks backwards, who was prominently focused in the OP.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh, okay, cool. So he's next threat that the
Right.
students will at least be probably having to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
But okay. This episode gave us a lot of comedy, though.
Yep.
Just all in all, like ridiculous amounts. The
Gojo.
No.
Oh.
The Gojo setup. Yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah.
Prime opportunity. They think you're dead.
And
it just
and Yuji's like idealized, like, I'll get these types of responses and this type of response.
Gojo's like, and it will solve world or global warming, right? And then
He's so cool,
right. And then he shows up, and it's just nope. The only one that's truly like appalled and shocked is the principal.
Yeah.
Oh no, I thought you might die of a heart attack. But which funny part were you gonna?
Oh
bring up?
no, I was just gonna bring up like just a lot of the goofy parts in general. There were quite a few from Nobara. There were quite a few from Toto.
Yes.
There's some other things going on with Panda, but just like Yuji coming back and thus having no knowledge of who these second years are,
Right.
and being like, so like, if you told someone to go die, would they die? And then you see the
sort of look
second
at him.
year, yeah, what's his name? Inumaki just kind of go, like, you went straight to that? Like,
Right.
I could say a whole lot of other things too, but
Well, it's
I guess.
it's kind of dark in a way because, just a little bit ago, if Yuji had that ability, he absolutely would have used it.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked, probably.
Probably not, but
yeah. I also love the idea of like, so are you like a new like breed of a new species of panda? Like,
right.
What are you?
How can you talk? Deflected. We don't answer that question.
Deflected. And yet the funny thing is that we get two cool moments with Panda in the OP showing that clearly they needed double of Panda from the previous, OP in this one, so that we get that Panda supremacy.
Right. Vanilla,
we have him going all, King Kong.
Yep.
But then we also get him in like a childhood, like little like
so adorable.
storeroom.
Yep.
And I just want to bring up, the idea that in a way, like he doesn't have to be literally a panda, because of the way the principal's power works. Remember.
But doesn't the principal just affect like dolls and stuff? I think there.
But that's the thing. He could have been a stuffed panda, just a big stuffed panda.
That
you know?
attained permanent sentience.
Yeah.
That
it could be. I mean,
it
he was literally in the storeroom thing with the principal.
Yeah, it seemed to me like it was one of those things of like the principal going to like, there's a special case here. We have a panda that can talk.
Right,
you know,
right.
Let's go see what the situation is. Maybe, you know, Professor Xavier kind of, maybe you should come to our school, you know.
Yeah.
But I absolutely loved that. The fact that we got double panda is wonderful because vanilla panda and OP1 was just that was all enough to make it my favorite part of the OP. So
right, and the OP in general seemed to hint at actually a lot of really random specifics on the backstories potentially of the students that we've been introduced to through Tokyo High.
There are just a lot more visuals in the OP in general than the first one.
Yeah, but they were less connected in a story sense. They felt more like, hey, we're just gonna show a whole bunch of
a lot more
things
chaotic.
Here. Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff that makes me think that they're going to maybe slow down the pacing a lot because this tournament arc could be used just to shove a whole bunch of backstories at us as well.
Totally could be. Because we have a lot of characters that we don't know all that well.
Yeah, and because we now have almost too many characters, I don't think they're going to kill anyone necessarily, but you could almost do the classic thing of, oh, we need to get the Six Fingers? Well, there's an event going on right now where all the students are going to be wasting their energy fighting each other.
Yep.
We could jump in, pull a heist.
Sure.
And then the students have to like slowly but surely get called back to help defend against the invaders.
Or at the very least, just it's not safe anymore. You know, we have bigger threats. You know, bigger fish to fry.
And then you have this big environment that's already full of curses. And
I gotta say, one of the things that I want to really tip my hat to this show for is that it kept the amount of people in the tournament actually very small. Even though the number of characters that we've gotten introduced to recently is quite a lot. Like, there's a lot of people in the Kyoto school, right? But when I think tournament, I don't think 12 contestants or whatever it is that they have, right?
I think like 32 contestants.
Exactly, right?
And that's way too many.
It's like orders of magnitude way too many because it might seem like it's just like, oh, that's just about triple, right? Which still triple is a ridiculous amount, but we also have like a bunch of characters in our core cast that we already know, so we don't need to introduce them. So really, we're only getting like 3 new characters.
Yeah, it's like Kamo, Mekamaru, and Nishimiya.
Nishimiya Momo. Yeah,
Nishimiya Momo, Ultimate Mekamaru, Kamo no Noritoshi. Those are really the only new characters.
We don't know the other characters all that well, granted, but like we know our main 3 quite well.
Yeah, so it was efficient of them, the creator of this, to have the characters that would fill in most of Kyoto High be ones that we had seen as Gakuganji's assistant and you know, Gojo fangirl. It's like awesome. You know, then we have the Zenin twin, you know, so it's dynamic. That's its own thing. And then we have Toto, who's just a walking JoJo character, you know.
But we also have something that is a way to mass characterize a bunch of the cast, and that's that they're given an order of kill Yuji, and all of them are responding very differently. And that's a way that we can basically, we don't necessarily have to go into backstory for all of them, because we can see, hey, what kind of a person are you really? Someone in authority is telling you to do something that
might not be
the best thing to do, you know? How are you going to react to that, right?
I liked that there was a general nervousness of the group, primarily through Momo, because she was just like, oh, well, this, oh, okay, all right, okay. And also just,
Miwa.
You know, Miwa with the whole thing of like, I also, like, are we sure about this?
Right.
And you can't tell in a good way, I would say, whether or not the reason why she doesn't want to do it is just because she doesn't want to piss off Gojo. Or if it's a thing of where, like, guys, I think I actually have a little bit more info than you guys here. And
right. Is it a comedy thing or is it a morality thing? Right.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
We can find out when they actually start fighting and whatnot. In a similar way to how with Toto, it was the whole thing of, I'm not going to do this. You know, like that could totally, like at first I thought it was a thing of, that's wrong, you know, and I'm such a, you know, good boy, like direct individual. I'm not gonna do that. But no, it's that I don't like taking orders.
Yeah. given that this episode also had no fights,
Mm-hmm.
that makes me think they are, they're definitely going to slow down the pacing a lot.
Oh yeah, and that makes sense.
Right. Because otherwise they're not going to be able to show really that many fights, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like with the way the first half went, it was while you could say the stuff with Yoshino was like a separate arc, which it was, it was still kind of like the proper full introduction to everything, I feel
to the world and Yuji's primarily internal conflict.
So I wouldn't be surprised if the rest of the season was the tournament plus the plot of the bad guys coming to fruition.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, so maybe the first 6 episodes or something is the tournament or something like that. And then the last 6 is...
I could see it being done in 4.
Yeah?
I could see it being done in 4. Yeah.
I could see that potentially happening, but I feel like even if the tournament took a full 6 episodes...
2 days, you're right. So yeah, the first day could be done in 4 episodes.
Right, yeah. Like,
but we don't know what's going to be the events of the second day.
That's very true. But because it's something where there are only 12 characters and it's only going to last 2 days and things like that, I kind of want the tournament to take its time. Because we know that the in an absolute sense, the tournament isn't going to be that long, right? I kind of want it to just be like, yeah, go for it, right? Yeah. You have my sort of like goodwill in a sense that it's going to be able to stay hype throughout the whole thing without like slogging on, you know?
Okay, I would say that this is where I'm having a really good time with this show, but I always get excited and worried with tournament arcs.
Sure.
Because usually it's the part where you make or break your shonen, basically.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Especially your battle school shonen, you know, kind of thing. And some tournament arcs specifically go way too hard on that one side character.
Sure.
And
that
you're
you
like,
don't really care about.
I don't care about them. Yeah, exactly. And the one character I could see being way too like serious and try hard with this is Kamo no Otoshi.
Yeah.
Because I get the vibe.
I
get the vibe that he's connected to Geto.
Yeah.
And it's not a like he's a bad guy or some infiltrator or something like that, but just like he's a part of the same clan.
Because he did specifically make a lot of he did draw a lot of attention.
Clan, our clan.
Right,
you know?
and like, oh, Fushiguro, your clan, you know.
Yeah.
So that makes me think that his clan is going to be something that's gone into a little bit, and given that Jujutsu Sorcerer Society is it's a very small world.
Very small community.
Yeah, very small
community.
Everyone
knows everyone.
Right, exactly. I would not be surprised at all if, you know, Geto was like an uncle or his dad or something, right?
Absolutely.
Because one of the other things is that if the bad guys are going to do all their crazy shenanigans and whatnot, we know that Geto is apparently someone semi-important in Sorcerer Society, and that's why he needs to stay hidden, right? If that's the case, then I want to start seeing him in Sorcerer Society undercover, right? Where no one knows that he's a bad guy and stuff like that. That way, it doesn't feel like he just sort of came out of the woodwork. Like, the fact that he is undercover feels like a plot point that needs to be utilized at some point in the bad guy's favor, you know?
Yeah.
But
and then the awkward Gojo moments this episode were hilarious.
Throwing the teacup and it just crashing against infinity.
The head of the school. That was so funny.
Yeah.
Just seeing those two. He's like, no, you're so weak and stuff.
Yep.
Why would that be the case? But okay. The crew is back together. Fushiguro asks him, hey,
how are you doing?
How are you doing, buddy? Like, everything good?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. Everything's fine. He's like,
come on.
You sure? Like, yeah. And then what, you know, did something happen? Like, you know, because, like, he's not just saying, like, you were gone for a while, but he's like, you know, catch me up to speed. Like, what happened to you while you were gone? Because he can tell something happened. Because there was this usual little bit of pep in your step that you definitely have still.
But it seems maybe a little forced.
It's diminished.
Yeah.
It's diminished. It's only 85% right now.
Right.
And I love the way that Yuji very clearly gives him the, don't worry about me, dude.
Right.
Something happened.
But
I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
And it's like I respect that you are willing to acknowledge that something did happen and you don't want to talk about it right now.
Right.
Because you're doing okay. But just know, I'm going to be here for you if you need to talk about it. Which is cool because I feel like Fushiguro could be that kind of a bro to Yuji.
Yeah.
And yet they haven't spent enough time with each other yet. So anytime they get close, I'm like, oh, and then they get pulls away. I'm like, man.
And I think this could be
a theme.
Maybe, but like in Yuji's case here, it feels like on the one hand it could be the thing of the writer being like, hey, we're not going to forget that Yoshino died, right? That arc happened, I'm not just going to gloss over it. It affected the main character.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're moving on from it. This is a new arc.
Sure.
Or it could be Yuji being like, hey, I think I'm good. Right. And then maybe he realizes that,
I'm not so good.
He's not actually, right? And because it's a fairly chill environment right now, he doesn't have to think about it too much. But if he sees Mahito again,
or let's say he realizes how weak he still is.
Sure. Yeah.
Because of all the other students going up against him, and he has to keep getting protected by everyone else. Yeah. And then it's a thing of where he sees them getting hurt trying to protect him. And that kind of triggers the same thing there. Because while I'd say that most of the animosity between the schools is primarily just a competitive thing, there is stuff like with the Zenin twins where it's like no, we don't like each other.
Right.
And then there's the other thing where like Toto doesn't like a lot of them. And you go like, yeah.
Right.
When it comes down to the fact that some of them are going to be relatively okay with maybe going after Yuji and killing him, that could create some emotions and some stuff, that could form maybe some new curse-related stuff.
Or even if it doesn't get into the realm of curses, let's say the bad guys then, if it went like
that.
Yeah, if it went like classic, this, like old school style, and the bad guys attack and interrupt the tournament, end, right? And the tournament isn't able to finish.
Yep.
And then suddenly these people have to fight together. That could get a little bit complicated and stuff if some of them
haven't trusted each other.
They haven't trusted each other, and especially if the principal is still like, but if you get the chance, kill Yuji.
Yeah, because then it could be a thing of where
we have Gojo, we're fine, but just make sure Yuji dies.
Right.
Like,
because then they don't take the curses as seriously too, and then also, some of them could get hurt because the curses go like, you guys are still infighting while we're
exactly.
here.
We'll then use that.
One shot, bam, someone dies.
Jogo just comes along and napalms 3 of them. Yeah. Like, like the and also
that's the other crazy thing. It's just we know that the students are strong, but we know also that any one of the curses that roam with Geto
are also really
kick
strong.
Like probably half of the school students' asses by themselves. So
yeah. The other thing that I'm curious if it ever gets brought up, and it doesn't have to, is that the principal is having the students try and kill Yuji. Because he doesn't want to directly kill Yuji.
Probably because he's one person and he's just going to be watched by like Gojo.
Sure, and his influence is more powerful than his own combat abilities, probably, right?
Yeah.
But he is also, to an extent, I'm sure, scared of Gojo.
Oh,
right.
I think everyone is.
Yeah. Right. But like,
it's respect.
Right, but he's basically banking on the idea that not only would it be potentially excusable of accidents happen in tournaments, right? But no blowback to me, right?
Sure.
And that's a whole other kind of sketchy.
But y'all, this is a good episode. We got an anime in the beginning, so I'm happy. But thank you so much for watching the episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if ain't that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.